Let's be honest, no one teaches us how to sleep for our manhood. Most of us grew up thinking if we got 8 hours, we were good. But here's the truth. It's not just how long you sleep. It's how you sleep. And if you're a man over 60, the way your body rests at night could be quietly dismantling your ability to perform without you ever feeling a thing until it's too late. I'm Dr. Mark, a board-certified urologist with over 30 years of experience helping men reclaim their confidence, energy, and vitality. And today, I want to talk about a topic most men never hear from their doctors: sleep posture and erections. Take my patient Dennis. He did everything right, ate clean, exercised, even took supplements. But still, he woke up feeling drained and less of a man. What we uncovered shocked him, and it may shock you too. Because behind every limp morning lies a deeper issue: blood flow, nerve sensitivity, testosterone release, all of which are heavily shaped by how your body is positioned while you sleep. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to sleep for your erections, not against them. And if this resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 2. I want to hear what's really going on. 1. Supine sleep. Restricts pelvic blood flow. Most men don't question their sleep position. If it feels comfortable, they stick with it. But for men over 60, comfort can become the enemy, especially when it comes to back sleeping. Dennis, 66, came into my clinic last winter. He wasn't complaining of insomnia. He wasn't complaining of snoring. He was confused, deeply confused about why his once dependable morning erections had vanished. "I feel rested," he said, "but it's like something down there. Just quit." We ran the usual blood panels, testosterone, glucose, even cardiovascular markers. All borderline. Nothing alarming. But then I asked him a question most doctors never think to ask: how do you sleep? He blinked. "On my back. Always have." Here's what most people don't realize when a man sleeps on his back, especially if he's gained a little belly over the years. Gravity pulls that weight downward directly onto the abdominal aorta and iliac arteries. These are the major highways delivering blood to the pelvic region. Prolonged pressure on these vessels reduces blood volume to the penis, especially during REM sleep when most nocturnal erections occur. It's not just blood flow. Back sleeping is strongly associated with snoring and sleep apnea, two conditions that reduce oxygen levels throughout the night. And without oxygen, your body produces less nitric oxide, the chemical that triggers the dilation of blood vessels during arousal. That's the silent storm: compression of pelvic arteries. Oxygen drops from snoring. Decreased nitric oxide. It explains exactly why Dennis felt like a different man when he woke up. He wasn't just tired. His body was missing the nighttime restoration process that keeps erections alive even in sleep. So what did we do? We simply trained him to sleep on his side. It took 2 weeks. We used a body pillow, some simple positioning techniques, and boom, within a month he told me he'd started waking up with something he hadn't seen in over a year. Was it magic number? It was circulation. Uninterrupted, uncompromised, and perfectly timed with the natural male sleep cycle. If you've been back sleeping for decades, I get it. It feels natural. But for men in their 60s and beyond, it may be the quietest killer of your erections you never suspected. 2. Left versus right side. A circulatory secret. Let me tell you about Raymond. He's 71, still sharp as a tack, and prided himself on staying active golf on Sunday's morning walks with his wife, and even the occasional swim. But lately, things had started to slip in the bedroom. Not dramatically, just subtly. Fewer morning erections, more time to get going, a creeping sense that something was fading. His testosterone levels weren't alarming. His heart looked okay, but I kept digging. Then he mentioned something almost in passing. "I've been sleeping on my right side a lot more lately. Left shoulder's been acting up." There it was. You see, not all side sleeping is created equal. In fact, there's a surprising physiological difference between the left and right sides when it comes to circulation, and especially pelvic blood flow. The left side of your body contains the heart's main drainage channel, the thoracic duct, which handles over 75% of your lymphatic fluid. Sleeping on the left side helps the heart pump more efficiently, reduces pressure on key veins, and optimizes blood flow to the pelvis. This means more oxygen, more nutrients, and yes, stronger nocturnal and morning erections. But sleeping on the right, that's a different story. On the right, gravity starts working against you. It compresses the inferior vena cava, the large vein responsible for returning deoxygenated blood from the lower body to the heart. Over time, this subtle pressure can disrupt blood flow and drainage in the pelvic floor, leading to a mild but chronic circulatory slowdown. Now Raymond wasn't paralyzed. He was just slightly rerouting the system every night. But that rerouting was enough to slowly chip away at his vascular efficiency. What I advised was simple: switch back to the left. Use a shoulder support pillow if needed. Even prop the back slightly to prevent rolling over. And just like Dennis, Raymond saw change within weeks. Firmer erections, less grogginess, even better digestion because yes, the left side also benefits gut motility. The key insight here is this: the body is not symmetrical in function. And when you're over 60, those small anatomical truths add up fast. If you've ever wondered why things worked better back then, maybe you just slept better on the right side of your body, which in this case happens to be the left. 3. Stomach sleeping damages erection nerves. Elias was 63 when he walked into my office. Fit guy, former firefighter. Still did daily stretching, swore by cold showers, and rarely missed a beat. But when it came to intimacy, things had gone quiet. "It's not that I don't want to," he said, sitting forward. "It's just, there's no signal." No signal. That's how he described it. Like the connection had been severed, not emotionally, but physically. He didn't feel arousal the way he used to. No tingling, no buildup, just silence. I asked the usual questions: meds, alcohol, blood pressure. Nothing stood out. Until he mentioned something peculiar: he always slept on his stomach. Always had, even as a kid. Now let me explain why that matters. The pudendal nerve is the main highway for sexual sensation in men. It branches out from the sacral region and runs right through the pelvic floor, reaching the genitals. It controls arousal, ejaculation, and even the muscle contractions that make an erection feel powerful. And when you sleep on your stomach, especially as you age, and your tissue resilience drops, you place steady pressure on this exact nerve path. The pelvis flattens against the mattress, and the base of the penis is often pinned awkwardly beneath the body's full weight. It doesn't take long months, even weeks, before that constant pressure leads to desensitization. The signals become dulled. What used to be a whisper becomes a murmur, then silence. Elias had basically been compressing the very circuit that powered his sexuality, night after night, for decades. We worked on repositioning. Side sleeping at first felt impossible to him. His body always rolled forward. So I suggested a U-shaped body pillow between the knees and under the arm. That gave him enough pelvic rotation without flipping completely. He also started using a memory foam wedge under his thighs, which took pressure off his lower abdomen even when he rolled forward in sleep. And over time, something changed. Sensation began to return. "It's like someone flipped a switch," he told me 6 weeks later. "I can feel things again. Not like before, but better than the dead zone." It wasn't a miracle. It was nerve freedom. Just releasing the pressure his body had ignored for years. So if you've lost the feeling, not just the function, don't assume it's hormones or aging. It might be that your own body weight has been cutting the wires 8 hours a night. 4. Pillow misuse alters pelvic circulation. Walter, age 69, came in because things had gone soft. That's how he put it. No shame, just a matter-of-fact frustration. He had tried supplements, increased his exercise, even added ginseng and L-arginine to his daily routine. Still nothing was working. When I asked about his sleep, he said, "I use 2 pillows to prop myself up at night, helps with my reflux." That detail mattered more than he realized. You see, it's not just the position you sleep in, it's the angle your pelvis takes during the night. And most people, especially those dealing with acid reflux or snoring, unknowingly distort that angle by stacking pillows. Here's what happens. When you elevate your head and shoulders with thick pillows, your spine curls forward. The pelvis tilts downward, almost like your body is folding into itself. That tilt narrows the angle between the abdominal wall and the groin. As a result, the arteries that feed the pelvic region and by extension the penis become constricted. Even more critically, the penile veins, which need to close properly to maintain an erection, become more prone to leakage when the pelvic angle is misaligned for hours on end. In Walter's case, this setup had gone on for years. He hadn't just lost firmness, he lost stamina. He'd get halfway there, then fade out. We made 2 adjustments. First, I switched him to a single contoured pillow that supported his neck without lifting the chest. That realigned his posture and allowed the lower body to rest flat without straining the esophagus. Second, I had him place a thin support under his knees just enough to reduce lumbar tension and allow the pelvis to rest in neutral. Within a few weeks, Walter emailed me. Subject line, game changer. It's subtle, he wrote, but I feel full again, like there's pressure in the right place. My wife noticed it before I did. The takeaway. Elevation can be dangerous when it's unbalanced. What helps your throat might be hurting your groin. If you're using multiple pillows, especially as you age, ask yourself, is your body aligned, or is your circulation being quietly rerouted away from the place that needs it most? Because night after night, the wrong incline isn't just uncomfortable, it's rewiring your body's ability to perform. 5. Sleep apnea. Destroys nighttime nitric oxide. Martin was 73, soft-spoken, and came in because his wife insisted. She says I snore like a bear, he told me, half smiling, but I think the bigger issue is, I don't wake up the same way I used to. He meant erections, of course. No more spontaneous ones, no more morning signals, just flat silence. I don't feel tired, he added, but something feels off, like my body's on low power. Martin wasn't overweight. He didn't drink. His testosterone was a little low, but not alarmingly so. On paper, he looked fine. So I asked a question I ask more often now. Has anyone ever tested you for sleep apnea? He shook his head, never even thought of it. Here's the problem most men don't. Sleep apnea isn't just about snoring or being overweight, it's about oxygen or the lack of it. During sleep apnea episodes, your breathing repeatedly stops and starts sometimes hundreds of times a night. Each pause causes a drop in blood oxygen saturation, and that right there is the quiet killer. Why? Because nitric oxide production is oxygen dependent. Nitric oxide is the molecule your body releases to dilate blood vessels and allow an erection to occur. Without it, nothing happens. No blood enters, no firmness, no function. It's the spark that starts the whole engine. And during sleep, particularly during REM stages, when you're supposed to have the strongest nocturnal erections, those apnea episodes cut off your oxygen just enough to rob your body of the very chemical it needs to get hard. In Martin's case, we did a home sleep study. The results were eye-opening moderate apnea, dozens of episodes per hour, and deep sleep that was constantly interrupted without him ever fully waking up. We started CPAP therapy. 3 weeks later, Martin came in with a different energy. Doc, he said, it's like someone turned the lights back on. He had more energy, more clarity, and yes, those morning erections had quietly returned. Sleep apnea doesn't always feel like exhaustion. For many older men, it feels like low testosterone, or sluggish desire, or just a fading spark. But the truth is, your oxygen at night may be the single biggest factor in whether or not you're capable of sexual performance the next day. If you've been dealing with erectile issues and no one's talked to you about your breathing during sleep, they're missing a critical piece of the puzzle. Because no matter how healthy you think you are, if your brain and body are starving for air every night, your erections will always suffer in silence. 6. Mattress sinkhole kills testosterone. Overnight. Jerome was 68, a retired aerospace engineer and the kind of man who paid attention to detail. He tracked his steps, his hydration, even his resting heart rate, but there was one detail he never considered: his mattress. He came to see me because his energy was dropping, slowly, subtly. Morning erections had disappeared months ago. His libido followed, and even with a clean bill of health from his internist, he felt like he was slipping into neutral. We talked through everything: diet, medications, activity. Then I asked, tell me about your sleep, not just how long, but how it feels. He paused, then nodded. I sink into it. Doesn't matter how I lie down, I wake up in the exact same position. It cradles me. That was it. Memory foam mattresses, especially soft or overused ones, may feel luxurious, but they can quietly sabotage male hormones by immobilizing the pelvis and spine. When your body is locked into a single position all night, your pelvic floor can become stagnant muscles. Don't shift, circulation slows, and blood flow to critical glands like the testes diminishes. Worse, prolonged immobility during sleep is associated with low nighttime testosterone production. Your body sees this stagnation as a form of chronic low-grade stress, like a subtle inflammation signal. Over time, this suppresses the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, the very system responsible for producing testosterone. Jerome had essentially been sinking into nightly hormonal shutdown. We made two key changes. First, I had him switch to a medium-firm mattress with a supportive surface that allowed gentle movement but didn't collapse under weight. Think orthopedic, not plush. Second, we added a nightly stretch routine before bed specifically targeting the hips, glutes, and lower back. Just 10 minutes, nothing extreme. 6 weeks later, Jerome came back with a subtle grin. "It's not like I'm 25 again," he said, "but I feel like me. I didn't realize how much I missed that." Sometimes vitality isn't lost, it's just muted. And when your body stops moving during the hours, it should be regenerating. Your hormones start dialing down too. The wrong mattress traps more than your spine, it traps your chemistry. So ask yourself, is your bed holding you or halting you? So let's bring it all together. If you've been waking up less like yourself, if you've noticed your erections fading, your energy dipping, or your drive slipping away, don't blame age too quickly. Because what I've seen again and again in my practice isn't just a hormone problem. It's not always stress, and it's definitely not just in your head. It's sleep, more specifically, how you sleep. Back sleeping. You may be compressing your pelvic arteries. Stomach sleeping. You could be silencing the very nerve that delivers arousal. Too many pillows that tilt might be wrecking blood flow before the night even begins. Soft mattress. You're immobilizing the very system meant to restore your masculinity. Even your breathing, if compromised by undiagnosed sleep apnea, is quietly robbing your body of the oxygen it needs to produce nitric oxide and testosterone. None of these things scream for attention. That's the danger. They whisper. They build slowly. They're just habits until they become the reason your body stops responding. But here's the good news. All of it is reversible. You can retrain your sleep posture. You can support your circulation. You can realign your body so it stops fighting itself overnight. I've seen it happen over and over, men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s restoring function simply by changing the way they rest. So tonight when you lie down, ask yourself, is this position helping me or slowly draining me? Your mattress, your pillow, your posture, these are not minor choices. They're nightly investments in your vitality. And if this message landed for you, leave a comment below. Type 1 if you're going to take action on your sleep tonight. Or type 2 if you think there's something else I should cover, because my goal is to serve you, not preach to you. Your body's been asking for help in quiet ways. It's time to start listening. I'm Dr. Mark, and I'll see you in the next video.